next up in the funhouse, we've got Lauren Thompson, who is an old friend of ours, of mine and Jess's, who she has been. I think you were our first Antler Hill fan.
Yeah,
right?
the video's actually still on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so thank you for all the support and everything. That's really
Of course.
So this
rad.
is an OG fan.
Yeah. This is the original.
Yes.
Yeah, she was there from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, he mentioned the name of a song. I won't say which one right now, and I started singing along to it too because I was introducing my friend to him, to his music, and all of a sudden he pauses.
Yeah, I'm like, somebody knows the words.
And he stares at me intensely.
I'm
and
like,
oh shoot, I sung it wrong.
I'd have loved to have seen that.
I'm just like, you sung it. You knew it. I forgot what I was doing, but you helped me because you knew it.
That was not me.
Yeah, it was actually. It was your can of air.
Can of air?
Yeah.
I didn't have a can of air.
I think it fell out of your head.
No, that'd be Blondie.
Ooh.
What?
Well, you said your brain didn't work like ours did.
I was trying to tell y'all a story a while ago, and you cut me off.
I did not.
Oh, sorry.
I never cut you off.
No, not you. He did.
No, I was trying to tell him, and he was like, "No." He said,
Lauren,
you
it's
gotta,
all lies. I don't
you
ever cut
gotta wait
anybody
until
off.
we're recording before you tell
Well,
stories.
with every lie, there's always a seed of truth.
Not
Yeah.
so.
Greg
Or
just shut
kernel
that down.
of truth.
This was nothing more than fake news.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to go far for that. Just turn on Fox News or CNN.
CNN or MSNBC.
All right, we can cut.
I don't watch
All right, we're
Twitter.
getting political. This is not what we do. This is not what we
Yeah,
do.
you don't want me on my soapbox.
No.
No, down the rabbit hole.
Give me the box.
Hey, I drew that book. Down the rabbit hole.
He did, actually.
Yeah, really, all kidding aside.
I was just making a reference.
Yeah, I know,
didn't
but you were
that was
talking about
a
Alice in Wonderland Down the Rabbit Hole, and I actually did Alice in Wonderland for Zenoscope, and one of the
Nice.
series I did was called Down the Rabbit Hole, which was pretty cool. So when I heard that, I was like, cool.
I had to look into that.
So the segment that we're doing now is about cosplaying and convention life, and specifically the beginnings of convention life. You know, your first time at a convention, what to expect, how to deal with strangeness, and so you're probably not going to dress up your first time, but maybe start your second, third, start just like stepping into it a little bit, then probably by your 10th one, you're just putting all the other cosplayers to shame with your mad cosplaying skills.
So, what? Last episode we were talking about just your, first convention and kind of what to expect, and we said this next episode was going to be. So now you've been to a convention, and now you want to start participating, and you want to start dressing up. So where do you start?
Do you have any advice?
Where to start? Well, I didn't know where to start first when I went to mine, and pick whoever makes you happy. Be PG, be decent, but do something. It's all about celebration of a fandom or anything that you're interested in. My best friend actually did a character from a TV series that interested her. My first outfit was actually from a book character that no one knew about.
What was it? I have to ask.
Ranger's Apprentice by John Flagon. They're basically like the Black Ops of medieval times.
No? Okay. Yeah, we're
See my
stumped.
point?
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that makes a good point. I mean, you don't always have to dress up like
That's very true.
a popular character. It doesn't have to be from comics. It doesn't have to be, from a comic book or a, cartoon or what. I mean, it can be from anything: books, movies, TV. I mean, anything that. If you want to dress up like your neighbor, I mean, what? I mean,
Heidi ho,
That really is a really good point. And that's one thing I can say is, again, I have no idea. The stuff I know about cosplay is all about because Blondie cosplays. So I know stuff about that. Outside of it, I don't know a thing about it or anything about it. But the one thing I can say, and I can appreciate, no matter what it is, if you're dressing up or any kind of fandom, if it's important to you, even if you're the only fan, I mean, seriously, I mean, show your love for it, and it's all about having fun.
Hey, I mean, you can introduce
yeah.
other people to your fandom, and
There
you
you
never
go.
know. You may find somebody else that likes it too, and there
Exactly.
you've made a buddy.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point. Doing these obscure characters that
I mean,
you love,
and some people have
and
their own original
Win
characters
friends and
too.
influence people.
right? And it'll sort of help spread that new story or that new show or book or whatever or series to somebody who wouldn't see it otherwise.
Yeah. I had one person recognize me, but she was a librarian at a school. So,
Fair enough.
but another cosplay that I was super nervous about, I never done it before, and it was Runa Kenshin. He was from the 90s anime. I thought people basically forgotten about him because it's just such an old anime from years and years ago. It's not long, it's ended. It's no longer streaming. But surprisingly, people actually recognized the character, and we had like a little fanned out moment.
Sweet.
So never be too scared to try something new.
Oh yeah, I mean, picking a character, and I mean, you don't have to worry about, body types, genders, race of the character. It really doesn't matter. I mean, it's just if the character. I mean, if you like the character, then by all means, dress up like that character.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah.
And then you kind of get it into, how much money are you wanting to spend on your
budgeting.
first,
Yes, budget. Yes.
your first cosplay. Because sometimes, I mean, that first one, I think my first one was actually just
Harley.
it was a Halloween store costume that I kind of modified to fit me and painted a little bit. But still, I mean, it was just a cheap costume.
But you looked cute as Harley.
But I had fun. I dressed
and that's all
up.
that matters,
I got to
really.
have the experience. And I mean, so you don't have to spend a lot of money. It can be like a store-bought costume, that first one. Or a lot of people, I mean, you can find a lot of things in thrift stores. You can, modify anything to kind of, look like that character. I mean, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money.
Right.
To cosplay. It's all about fun, and as long as you keep it fun and that's your whole purpose and your whole point, then I mean, go for it. And and if you have the money, want to commission someone to make your costume, do that. Nobody's going to say anything. It doesn't have to.
You've done that.
I mean,
before.
I've got cosplays commissioned. I've made my own. I've bought them from stores. I mean, it doesn't matter. Because it doesn't have to be. You kind of go in, and once you start seeing some people that have these really, really, really elaborate costumes, I mean, just remember that they may have been doing this for a long time.
Right. This one's not there first.
Yeah. So your first one, I mean, nobody is going to think bad of anything that you wear. I mean, because everybody is there to have fun.
Yeah, and I recommend just do what you feel comfortable with. And if there is certain people, I guess this is a little switching gears here.
It's okay.
Some people can be mean critics. Haters gotta hate.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not in high school, so you're not trapped in the classroom, so you can just walk away. Find the people that you can groove with. Yeah, which I have only one encounter. I believe cosplaying for like 3 years now. Oh gosh. And I only encountered maybe one person like that. So maybe I'm just lucky, or because usually conventions are very focused on being positive, being open-minded, making sure everybody stays safe. I mean, it's like episodes that we watch on TV or read about. They always try to inspire good, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think that kind of dwells in us too, trying to inspire good as well.
Yeah. And I mean, fortunately, I don't think that I have experienced anything like that at a convention.
You
In
did recently
person,
online.
but that's what I was fixing to say. Not in
Yeah.
person at a convention, but I have gotten it online, and everybody's
Where people
you
But
know
to
hide
but-
behind their
a
computers.
keyboard warrior. You know,
Yeah.
But to be fair, we shut them down quick.
yeah.
As you should.
Well, he didn't realize he was going to tick off the entire, let's see, half the film industry, half the comic book industry, the cosplay community, and the professional wrestling industry.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, Blondie had
Oh, down for the count.
there was wrestlers, there was professional wrestlers, MMA fighters, and wrestling promoters that were coming in on this guy.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
It was pretty bad.
It got kind of bad. The U.S. Army even got involved at one
Oh,
point.
the
Yeah,
U.S.
they did.
Army got involved. Yes, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Good one.
Talk about calling the cavalry.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Pause.
We've had to do a podcast twice
Yeah.
or even 3 times.
Or even
Now,
3
that was
times
your fault.
because of Veronica Mars.
I think
That
we
was
all
your
have
fault.
some sort of horror stories regarding technology. Like I worked on a three-page document for English class, and all of a sudden my computer decides to crash. And that was back before Word had this nifty emergency save
Right. The autosave
or
stuff.
retrieval
Yeah.
thing. So I lost everything.
Well, one thing
Oh,
we
that
don't
hurts.
mention on this show is Veronica Mars.
Ever. Veronica Mars and bullet points.
We don't mention those words. Those are banned words on our show.
Yeah. So I've got a question for you.
Yes.
It might be a little strange, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Ooh, I like strange.
What was your biggest fear cosplaying?
Like the fear of like something happening or something that did happen.
Anything?
I guess I go to conventions a lot by myself. It's not by choice. I just I don't have any buddies to hang out with. That was until I joined the Ultimate Experience. But of course, they don't go to all cons. So when I go to a con by myself, I'm worried that some random guy's gonna follow me to my car and try to do something shady, or even a gal. Oh my goodness, that one gal actually touched me in a no square while taking a picture.
Really? Oh, no.
Yes, and I put my hand on her hand
Square.
and
Never
slowly
heard
pushed
that.
it down.
The
And I
no-no
was in a
square.
pink Power Ranger suit.
What? I missed something.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Another fear that actually did happen. It's more of embarrassing than anything. I guess cosplay wardrobe meltdowns.
Meltdowns.
Oh yes, we know cosplay wardrobe meltdowns.
Yes, I have been drug into the. I've unfortunately been drug into more than my share that I have wanted to be.
This happened recently, back in December during YamaCon in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Oh,
We do
what
happened
YamaCon.
to
Yeah,
the-
they were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I must have seen
I do
you. I was
YamaCon every year.
volunteering, so
Yeah.
I stayed pretty busy.
Ah.
I was walking to the closing ceremony, and all of a sudden I felt something move down. My pants fell down. And it
Oh,
was,
that's wrong.
and there was a guy right behind me.
Oh, nice.
Luckily, I decided to wear tights that day. Like, those workout tights
Yeah,
thing that people wear while jogging.
I know I
I thought,
do.
well, it's kind of cold. I'm going to wear these to help stay warm.
Right.
That was extremely embarrassing because even though I was completely covered and nothing was exposed, it's just the fact that my pants fell down.
Right. You have to do the waddle.
Well, I told him to turn around. He was so busy laughing.
Oh,
Even though there's nothing to be seen, here I am. I'm Runa Kenshin, these white pants. What happened was that my sword that I kept tucking under the straps made the straps of the knots come loose.
oh.
So, yeah, my katana worked against me.
What about the Wicked Witch of the West, the steampunk Wicked Witch of the West?
That was
Oh,
a
yeah.
rad costume. You gotta look that up, or I'll send it.
I just posted that recently because
Oh, you did?
it seemed like every one of my memories from Heroes Con have come up almost every day. It's been a different one from all the years we've
Oh,
been.
really?
There's been
So-
like 15.
I know. So
Yeah.
one of them was the
I love
the
Heroes
Wicked
Con, and I
Witch.
didn't realize how many times I've been to Heroes Con over the years. But one of the Heroes Cons, she did this. I mean, she'd been working on it a while, and I'd actually given her some cool ideas for. So it was
Yeah.
kind of fun seeing some things that I talked to her. She worked into the costume, and it was just this amazing costume. And she was going to paint herself green.
Yeah.
And had airbrush and everything.
No,
else.
no. I didn't have the airbrush that time.
Which one was the one with the airbrush
That was
you woke me up?
That was La Muerte, where I painted
Oh,
myself white
yes.
with the airbrush.
Oh my goodness!
But
That one won Best in Show.
Yeah, that one won an award. But the Wicked Witch, because I got up early, and I was gonna paint myself green, and I don't know what was going on, but the paint that I was using, I could not get it on just like smooth. It was all blotchy. It looked horrible. So I had two different types of paint with me, and I said, okay, maybe this one's not working.
Cry on it is.
So I completely washed all of that off, and then I started over with the other type of paint, and it just must not have been my morning, because I think I was already upset, and once you start getting upset and like panicking, and
Then she woke me up, and it was my fault.
and I woke him up, and I'm like, I can't get this green paint on,
And what did I tell you?
and and you were like,
Just
it
get
looks
angry.
fine. It looks fine.
That's exactly
But
right.
it finally, I
That's my
went.
go-to.
I went on to the convention and I wore the costume. I mean, it was a steampunk Wicked Witch. I wore the costume. I just wasn't green. But it was like when the whole, like probably first 2 hours I was there, I was so
Oh,
depressed.
she was so mad.
Because I was so upset because I was like, my costume is not finished. I'm not green.
Right.
I was like, I'm supposed
Saddest
to be
Wicked
green.
Witch ever.
Aggravated.
I'll get you, my pretty, I guess.
But then after that,
She was angry, but I kept telling her, I said, look, the Wicked Witch of the West was green. The Wicked Witch of the East was not. I said, just tell everybody you're the steampunk Wicked Witch of the East.
so, but then everybody started like complimenting me on the costume and everything.
She was
and
getting attention, so she
So-
was
Feel
fine.
better?
So I felt better after that. I calmed down after that. But I think we had another incident though. The one time when I was going to dress up as I had the Little Red Riding Hood costume, and I think that was in Asheville. And when I went to the bathroom, I was half in the costume, and I got stuck in the zipper.
That's a cosplay fear.
I got the zipper on my corset got stuck, so I was half in the costume, half out, and there was nothing I could do. I could not get unstuck. So finally, I had to
That's
like
great.
wiggle myself out of this corset, and I just took everything off, and I came back out, and I told him, I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, I can't get this fixed. So I was trying to mess with it at the table to try to get the zipper unstuck. And then finally, it was a guy came walking by and he saw what I was doing. He was like, I think I can fix that for you. I was like, really? So I handed it to him, and within like a couple of seconds, he had it undone. I was like, okay, you saved me. So finally, I went and I changed into my costume. But
See, this is why I just sit at my booth. I walk in, sit at my booth,
Hey,
Sign
nothing
stuff.
ventured, nothing gained.
sign stuff.
Yeah.
I sign stuff all day, and then I get up and I go home.
But I do have to tell the one more story. I mean, because I've had like who knows how many. But the one more story about the time when I had to change clothes out there in the con into
yeah.
I had a pirate poison ivy costume, and I had went to the restroom to change into it, and the costume was so big because there were so many pieces to the dress, and I don't know, they didn't have the air condition on in the restroom, so while I was in the restroom, it was so hot. I was trying to get into this costume, and
Savannah.
it was Savannah in the summertime, and I was pouring sweat. And I said, there's no point in me trying to put this costume on if I'm already pouring sweat. I'm going to die if I
Yeah.
get this on. I was like, I can't do this. So I threw everything back in the bag, and I came storming out, and I was like,
And she was storming.
I was upset. I was like, nope, not doing it. Not happening. I'm just going to sit here in no costume then. And finally we got the idea because it was cool out there in the room. So we got the people that were sitting at the table beside us, and they had a banner, and then we had two banners behind our table. So we kind of situated them to where I had like a little corner against the wall.
Right.
And I changed clothes out there in the convention hall. into my costume, and so yeah, that was fun.
Well, tell
Oh, the things we do for cosplay.
well, tell Lauren about your. You came up with a genius idea, and you have this new thing that you carry around to cons with us now.
And I do, and this, and
The
well,
cosplay.
Oh,
What's
yeah,
it
check
called?
this out.
my cosplay repair kit.
Yes.
But I have one of those. But and like I say, I mean, going back to the original subject, I mean, about first time cosplaying, I mean, this is probably way on down the line after you've been cosplaying for a little while that you kind of learn all these tips and stuff. But you can make like a small cosplay repair kit because this will save you so much headache.
Hers
But
is not small.
mine's not small because normally
It's
when
luggage.
I'm at a convention now, I'm either helping with the cosplay contest or judging the cosplay contest, or I'm actually the one that's in charge of the cosplay contest. So usually I'm sitting up at the table and I'll have my cosplay repair kit with me, and anybody that comes up and signs up for the contest or whatever, and they're like, oh my God, do you have such and such to fix my costume? I'm like, yes, I have that. And so yeah, I put it together, and I've kind of been adding to it, every time we go to a convention. And I know we're going to have probably a whole nother episode one day, and I'll kind of go over all the different things that I have in it. But I've
Let's just put it this way: governmental disaster relief teams are jealous of her cosplay repair kit.
But it's kind of like every time, like I said, I've added to it because I started off with just a normal, like the hot glue. You got to have hot glue and duct tape. I've got black duct tape. I mean, and of course, you've got your safety pins and things like that. But anytime I've been to a convention and somebody says, I need this to fix something, or if we figure out some kind of glue or something that I have will not work on their costume, because we did have one, kind of catastrophe with a Batman costume one time, and it was one of these expensive
Nice one.
leather, whatever that stuff's made out of, the Batman costume, and his arm piece had just completely come apart. And we were trying to fix it, and the duct tape wouldn't work, and because it wouldn't stick, and of course hot glue was not going to work on that type of material. And he said that there was a certain type of glue that he used in emergencies, and he said it would work on that type of material. So I went out and I bought it to have it in my kit, so if that ever happens again, then I have that glue that'll work on that material.
Well, you were talking about, like, if somebody comes up to the judge's table and is having a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I've never sat down and counted. How many of these things have you judged?
I don't know.
Like, I lost count, but I was it's kind of like that day we were trying to figure out how many cons we'd been to in a year.
Because
I need to start keeping up with that.
Yeah, I do keep up with it. I mean, we do
Well, I know how many we do.
We've
how
done
many
20,
cons we do in a year.
20 to 30, but
we
as
did
far
like
as
30, something like 34 cons in a 52-week year.
Yeah, but this year's kind of not.
This year we've done two?
Two, I think.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for
Yeah, I mean,
anyone who's
for a
starting
first time,
out?
yeah.
Just starting out.
Yeah.
Let me think. What advice would I like going to my first con?
Have a change of clothes.
Yeah.
Just in
Have a change of
case.
clothes. Don't be afraid to do what you want to do. I know we talked on that for a while, but even if your character is unknown to everyone, maybe you dressing up like that character is a way to, share your fandom and maybe get more fans into it. You never know.
Right.
And know how long you're going to be away at the con. There's these one-day cons, which they only last one day. You don't really have to pack that much. Maybe a light lunch. Make sure you have enough money. Budget. Make sure you have enough money to go.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you have enough money coming back.
Good point.
Spending money at cons can be very tempting. I used to carry cash only sometimes. That helped me because once it's out of the wallet, it's gone. It's gone.
Right.
With a debit card, it's a little different.
Right.
Yeah, and not all vendors accept cards. majority of them do nowadays because they got that little white square.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point, though.
Cash is
everybody.
always handy to have on hand.
Yeah.
And what else? If you can find a buddy, have it like, even if the person doesn't dress up
Yeah.
with you, a cosplay handler, a cosplay buddy, or someone to help you out, carry stuff.
Yeah, handlers are really
That
nice.
makes
Yeah.
huge difference than just flying solo.
But if you have a buddy, with you to, notice if something is coming apart,
Yeah.
Oh
hey,
yes, make sure the wig showing. That is my
yeah.
biggest gripe right now. Is I have a difficult wig that includes a very long ponytail. It's Ursa Scarlet in her samurai outfit from Fairy Tail anime, and I have to braid my hair in a special way, bobby pin the daylights out of it,
Mm-hmm.
keep the ponytail over my shoulder to help keep the weight off from pulling off.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm still figuring out new ways how to get the wig to stay. I even wear a wig cap with it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just depending what kind of cosplay you do, that's definitely something taken into consideration, is how heavy that wig's going to be. Are you willing to weigh a wig?
Yeah.
Do you know what a wig cap is? Do you know the difference between a good wig cap and a bad wig cap? The list goes on. The more you explore, the better. Explore your options.
Yeah.
Right.
One thing that I would always recommend is, and this is probably one that I don't follow very well, but do as I say, not as I do,
Right.
is to put the costume on when you're at home, walk around in it a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. I'll make sure
And not
everything's.
just for 5 minutes. Do it for at least 15 to 20, as long as
Yeah.
possible.
And walk around in it, and that'll kind of give you an idea if, something's going to come apart, something's going to fall off, if you need to put some extra bobby pins in that wig because it's not going to stay on. Anything like that. I always recommend that, but yeah, like I say, I'm bad about I'll work and get that costume done right up until the last minute, and then I'm like, it's done, I'm not looking at this anymore, and then we get to the day of the con, I'm putting it on, and I'm like, oh crap. But that would be a definite recommendation, and think about your shoes. Like, if you're, those high-heeled shoes or boots or whatever, those may be cute and they may match that costume to a T, but just think about walking around in those all day.
Yeah.
Because you can tell when females start getting tired in those shoes, you can see it on their face even though they're trying not to.
Unless they're in a furry suit, and then everything goes out.
Yeah. And
That's another good topic to touch on.
Furry suits. Think about how hot you're going to be. But if you do decide that you want to wear one of those suits, or any of the massive armor suits where you're completely covered,
Yeah.
don't sit there and get so overheated
Right,
in that costume, because I have seen
Yes.
people take their helmets or the mask of those furry suits off, and the people are just drenched.
Right.
And I'm thinking, you are about to pass out.
Yeah.
Keep hydrated and try to keep yourself cool. They're making like new things now with like little air conditions you can put inside of them, cooling
Yeah.
shirts, different things to try to keep you cool inside there. Because most convention centers are air conditioned, but be prepared, because we have been to some
Oh, yes,
that
we have.
not.
I feel you.
But
I
that's
haven't done a furry suit because just the price of them, but it's definitely something I'm interested in doing, just because I love animals.
Right.
And I don't know, like,
And-
if you buy one, I guess if they cost that much, but I've never even thought to ask people, because
They
I know
do.
when people come and like get in, join the cosplay contest, sometimes they'll tell me that they made it themselves. So I'm not sure like how much money is involved.
Yeah.
Even
Right.
I mean, I'm
Well,
sure there's a lot of time involved if you
if
make it yourself.
You do make it yourself, it does save a little bit of money. It just really depends on the materials and
Yeah.
what type of creature you're doing.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I think
true.
it can range from 1,000 to 2,000, just because fur per yard. I looked up at Walmart. I think it's like $12 a yard.
Yeah.
So you might be able to save some. And
Yeah.
sadly, the Walmarts in my area don't have a huge selection. So the only type of colors that's available is Snow White, grizzly bear colors, and black.
I got you.
None of the fun colors.
Right.
But, oh well. That's another thing too about cosplay. If you do plan on making it yourself, there's tons of YouTube tutorials you can follow and practice with.
Oh yeah. And I wouldn't suggest like the first couple of cosplays that you do. I know it looks really cool with all, and I was talking about all the body paint, but I definitely would not recommend body paint your first couple of times out.
No. It's
One
on
of
your
my
list.
dream cosplays to do Ahsoka Tano from Clone Wars.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, they just came out with a new series too, the season 7 of the Clone Wars, I
Oh
believe,
yeah.
if memory serves me right.
Mhm.
And I'm in love with her outfit, OMG. But the thing that scares me the most is the makeup.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, how am I supposed to get the right shade of orange?
Oh
Right.
It
yeah.
looks like a walk-in Cheeto.
Just roll around in Cheeto
A walk-in
dust.
Cheeto with white icing markings on the face. So, that's definitely, to me, in my opinion, probably more advanced. Because
Yeah.
you got the face paint, you got a headdress.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the headdress alone, it depends what type of headdress you want. You want something you make it yourself, you make it out of latex, foam, or you can get commissioned. There's a Beehive company from Ahsoka Tano, a cosplay support group on Facebook.
Mhm.
That costs usually around $300, and
Yeah.
you can wait for several months because it's an independent guy who does it himself.
Oh yeah. Because
So,
I'm
if
gonna
you
be.
want con in 2 weeks and you want to do a Ahsoka Tano, I don't recommend it.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
gonna be doing
yeah,
a
that's another
Twilight
good topic.
soon.
Making time for your cosplay and time for the convention.
Yeah. But yeah, having time. I mean,
Yeah.
just I mean,
Scheduling your time to make the costume adequately.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
and don't get so. This is one thing that I've learned too about my cosplays. A lot of them that I start making, I learned this early on that I can stress myself out if I'm wanting
Oh
to
yes.
if I'm wanting
Yes,
to wear.
worrying about the small details.
Oh yeah, and that was another thing I want to get back to, like the 10-foot rule. Remind me of that. But but like getting so trying to get a cosplay done for a certain convention, and you start running out of time and like staying up all night trying to get this thing done. I've learned like that is just too much stress on me. So what I do is I start working on a cosplay, and it's just whenever I get this one done, it will be debuted at the next convention I go to. So that way I'm not stressed. It's just whenever it gets done,
Right.
it gets done. And usually I've got one working on so far in advance that I usually have a new one and it's all ready, and I'm like, I'm working on
never a
something
dead
else.
spot.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
working on something else. But and that was what I was going to
Yeah.
get back to, the 10-foot rule. And I learned this too, because even like, and y'all know this, like artists or whatever, that when you're looking at your own work, you can see every single little flaw. You can see
yeah.
everything that you did wrong. This doesn't look right. That looks crappy. You can work yourself up. But if you're looking in the mirror at yourself, stand back 10 feet, and then if you can't see that flaw from 10 feet, nobody else will either, because that's about as far as people are going to be away from you if they're taking pictures of you,
Right.
walking by you. So that's a good rule to kind of think about.
Always a good thing. Talking about pictures, it's always good to, a little close, to ask permission before taking pictures.
Yes,
Good point.
always.
Because
Yeah.
people are proud of their outfits. They work hard, or they just want to show off. And if you just snap a photo and move on, have time to get into poses.
Right.
Oh yeah, because you don't want
Yeah.
crappy pictures out there of you. I mean, mid sentence, you got your
Yeah.
mouth wide open.
Yeah, you're making a
Yeah.
stupid face or something. Yeah.
I mean, just that's why I like when people, hey, can I take your picture? And nobody
And it's
minds.
just polite.
And
You know.
nobody minds. I mean, I like it when people ask me. I really hate it when I kind of just glance over and I'm not half paying attention and somebody's just snapping a picture of me from the side. I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, Because just be prepared for that. If you go to your, first convention in a costume, people are going to come up to you and probably want to have their picture made with you or want to take pictures of you.
Exactly.
Just, be proud of your costume and take that as a compliment and go with it.
And also, cosplay is no consent. Just because you're on cosplay doesn't gives you permission to touch other people. Always ask, like, hey, can I give you a handshake, a hug?
Right.
Whatever. Some people don't like being touched in general.
Yeah.
They have a big bubble.
Yeah.
My sister's like that. She doesn't like anyone touching her hair, even the pool water. No.
But some people like, to have their distance from people, and especially in today's, climate or whatever.
Yeah,
we're going to,
it's mandatory.
Who knows what that's going to be like when we finally
it's like mandatory now.
Yeah.
But then again, you've got to take into consideration that you don't want to accidentally mess up someone's costume or their prop.
Right. It may be more fragile than it looks.
Yeah, don't start grabbing on armor and pulling on it.
This is so cool.
Yeah, don't do that because I would cry.
Yeah, we know.
and then I would stomp over to Greg-Bo's booth. I'm done.
Right. No more cosplaying.
But we did see that happen though with Heroes Con, and I felt so bad for the guy because he was dressed up as I think it was Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, and he had the whole like the weapon, the spear thingy, get over here thing, and and somebody asked to hold it. And when he handed it to them, for some reason or another, they just slammed it down on the ground.
What?
Broke it.
What?
I'm like, why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
How old was this person?
Right.
This was a grown adult that slammed it on the ground.
Oh,
child or something.
Because I had something similar happen to me, but it was a child, and luckily it didn't break my Power Ranger helmet because I had it sitting on the table.
I know how hard you've worked on that too.
I lost count how many months I sanded on that thing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, people work a long time on their props, so you treat it like a newborn baby.
Oh yeah.
And this little kid, he had to be like 5 or 6, runs up to my table. I think I was being a judge that day. Grabs the beak of the Power Ranger, Pink Ranger, it's a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
The beak of the pterodactyl, and brought it to him. 1, I didn't want to be rude to the kid, but 2, internally I was like screaming.
Yeah. Yeah. It's your right to be like, hold it like this. Here.
You
2 hands.
You can look at it.
Yeah, I don't
How about
mind
you look at it?
people touching my stuff, and as long as they ask,
Yes.
be gentle, and then return it.
Right.
Oh yes.
In the same condition that you handed it to them in, if not better.
Yeah, I've made the mistake several times of letting children hold some of my props and they take off running with it.
Right. It's mine now.
Because I dressed up, this has been a long time ago, but I dressed up as Elsa, and I had like the big stuffed Olaf with me.
Oh.
And I was letting a little girl hold it, and I was like, here, do you want to hold my Olaf in the picture? And her dad's standing over there ready to take the picture, and as soon as I handed her Olaf, down the hall she ran. Okay. And then I had, I think I was dressed up as, I did like a steampunk Little Mermaid one time.
Yeah,
I had the whole Triton thing that I'd made. And a little kid I had it kind of standing up against our booth. And kid just walks over, picks it up, and just keeps going with it. And I'm like, hello.
I don't think that one's yours.
Wasn't a freebie there.
Right?
Do you want to give that back?
Right. Cool.
Well, I know this is probably backward, but what originally got you into cosplaying?
Oh, yeah, that. I guess I have to blame Naruto. And
She's blaming.
See, I was a huge, huge Naruto fan, and I had blamed my friend from middle school for introducing me to anime. I didn't know what anime was, even though I watched it before. Sailor Moon, Kim of the White Lion. Yeah, no one remembers him, but anyways, I really started watching YouTube on videos, and then I saw these people dressed up like the terrorists. I was like, oh, you can dress up like them? And then they started doing skits, and it was funny, and it's like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And so finally, when I got my own job in the car, it's like, I can buy cosplay. So one of the first outfits I bought was a full outfit, was a Kakashi,
Nice.
the
cool.
Shinobi outfit from Naruto. And then I tried to do like a gender bend, like do the female version.
Yeah.
What got me into cosplay is it's just I just enjoyed the show and I just want to be part of the community. I'm a social butterfly, and in the long run I realized anytime I do dress up, anytime I put that helmet on or that wig or that outfit and I feel like I become part of that character, I get like a major confidence boost. And it's made me make so many friends. I met Neil, I met him, and Faye, and so many others along the way. I have Comic-Con buddies.
Yeah.
And here's a little secret. I actually went through a pretty bad breakup right before I went to my first con. I feel like I couldn't do anything fun by myself. So I went to Marion Comic-Con, North Carolina for the first time to prove to myself that I can have fun with or without somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but V for Vendetta, that's my personal favorite too. I need to
'Cause that's when I
upgrade
met
the
you.
wig and the mask. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't
Nope.
even know it was you
Yes,
until
you didn't
like
even know me. Yes, because I was
like the
asking for your
next
CD.
convention. You're like, yeah, I know you, and I'm like, no, you don't. Who are you? Who
People
are you
treat you
again?
so differently when you're in a mask too. That's another
Right.
thing. If you're in a full blown mask, they don't know where to stare. They kind
Right.
of don't talk as much. One person mistaking me for a guy.
And one thing I've got to brag on you about this.
Oh.
Yeah. She was V.
Uh-huh.
You know, she got the mask and she never took it off. This is when I met her, and I didn't obviously realize who she was later. But she bought a record, and there was a girl standing beside her. And I think Lauren was like, "Which one are you looking at getting?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't have any money. I'm just looking." She's like, "Well, I'll get it for you." And she bought a record for this other girl
Oh, cool.
right then and there. So that's one thing that's always stuck with me about you
Oh.
is your kind heart, which is much needed nowadays.
Oh,
so
thank
thank
you.
you for that.
I just knew what it's like to be in that type of situation. I used to get only like 1 or 2 CDs, and one of the CDs I got was Kim Possible, and I just listened to that song over and over. Until this day, I can sing at least half of those songs. But thank you. That's very kind of you to say.
But I guess we can pretty much just wrap it up here, and just, you know, when you go to your first con, just enjoy it, have fun, just don't think about, if anybody's going to make fun of you or whatever. I mean, don't think about stuff like that. Just go to have fun, enjoy it, make some new friends, and just be nice, to everybody. And I mean, it's a safe space for everybody to just go and have fun. I mean, we've got our con families,
Right.
and there's people there that you can go and talk to, and just be nice, everybody.
Right. Like Lauren here.
Just be nice. And with that,
Well, I guess it's time to get lost.
in the fun house.